Wow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 168 of Wrestling is Trash. We come to you on another Trash Tuesday, once again to bring you all things wrestling, past, present, and possibly the future. I am one of your hosts, Trash Boy number 2, Lou from the BX, host of the Everything Podcast, co-host of Wrestling is Trash, snappy dresser, eater of tacos, here with you on another day, ready to get it in, ready for the holidays to be over. I'm ready. I'm ready for the holidays to be over, Nick. I really am. Working in retail, it makes you have a disdain for the holidays. Although I will say, in this current job that I'm in, is much better for my mental health and my disdain for the holidays than my old job was. But that's enough about me. I'm gonna pass it over to Trash Boy number 1.
Hey everyone, Nick Anicelli, co-host of Wrestling is Trash. It's the only thing I do. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. Holidays are just a very, very, very stressful time of the year for everyone involved. Everyone's traveling. Everyone, whether you're going to visit family or families come to visit you, it's never really time. You get time off, but it's never really time off because, you got to see great Aunt Sally and this person, which is awesome. Family's important and all that. But yeah, it's always a very busy time of year, but we got 2024 around the corner. We're going to be talking about 2023 today and a lot of other things. But I just want to say real quick, thanks to you guys for a great 2023. This will this might be our last episode of the year, maybe. We'll have to see. But holidays, I imagine where you work, that's a lot. That's like, I'll be honest, where I'm at, I start my vacation Friday, but we just do half days. So I'm at work till 11, then I come home.
So, yeah, again, I can't complain about my job itself. My job fucking rules. It's just that the stress of the putting things like all our Christmas shit's gone, and we're already putting up patio sets for spring. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's Christmas hasn't even passed yet, and it's like all our Christmas shit's already gone. Like, I literally feel like I just put all this shit up, and now it's completely like dismantled. So, but it is what it is. It's all good. Nothing but cheer on this podcast.
A quick Christmas question for you. Are you a fan of Christmas music at all?
So
I imagine where you work, they play it like just
all day long.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so in your own time, in your own moderation, do you enjoy Christmas music?
So I have a few Christmas albums that I do listen to in my spare time. Probably my favorite Christmas album is the Bad Religion album called Christmas Songs. It is 8 songs, and it's literally the Little Drummer Boy, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, but in punk rock format from probably the greatest band of all time, who I'm going to see next year, actually. As I was talking to you off mic, I was going to ask you I was kind of going to do like a resolution thing, like what's your wrestling resolution for the upcoming year, or because this may very well be our last episode of the year. So I was kind of do like a real resolution, kind of wrestling resolution. But as I was saying before we started the show, I kind of felt like the year flew by for me. Just because I feel like I've been so busy working and trying to like just get paid, pay the bill, move on to the next thing, get paid again. The year flew by for me. And like, this is like the fastest year on record I've ever had. Like I'm really taken aback at how quickly it went. And I want to make it a point next year to actually stop and smell the roses and go to more live shows, go to more wrestling events, go out to different cities, get my feet out there into different areas, visit some people I haven't seen in a long time. Like, these are things that I want to actively do. And the only reason I bring that up is because I mentioned Bad Religion. I'm going to see them next year. They're coming here to Fort Lauderdale again. They haven't been here since 2021.
Okay.
And that was like right after the pandemic. So it was like, that was the first time like I left the crib and went somewhere in public, like for real. And it was like a sweaty Revolution night club that we have here at actually, was it the Culture Room or no? It was Revolution Live, and it was fucking insane. So I'm happy to see them back. They're the greatest band ever. They've been playing together for almost 50 years.
That's wild.
So there's not a lot of time left in the tank. So anytime I can get to see them, I'm very excited. So just one of those things I want to start doing for next year. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out more. We got to live life because we ain't getting any younger.
Yep. I kind of got the same thing as you. Like I said, I'm doing a little bit of traveling actually. So I'll do a plug here. As I said last week, this upcoming Sunday was my birthday. Went out with some friends. Went to the casino, and I actually won like $800. So
Nice.
Using it. Granted, I'm in California, but like an hour away, we do have it's called Big Bear. It's the mountains, and I'm actually using the money. And for a weekend next month, we're going up to a cabin. Go do Northeast things like wear Timbs. That's like my favorite part, is to be able to wear Timbs because it snows. No, but little things like just travel more, like you said, go to more wrestling shows. One thing I really want to do is find a local indie show to go to around here. I always keep saying it, but because whatever, I always make it work somehow when WWE or AEW's in town to go to the show. But this year, I want to find like a local indie and just go. I have no idea what it is, and that's what I want to do. Because when you went to those couple of shows this year, you seemed like you had a blast.
Yeah, they were pretty dope. I was gonna say one of the things I wanted to do was to go to a concert a month. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that because I got 3 concerts lined up: February, March, and April. So if I can find one in January, I was actually looking for one in January, and what I did find was that the NWA is coming to town, and they're having a cross event with CCW, which is the local promotion that I went to. So they're actually having like a crossover event at the place where I go to see the concerts at Revolution Live. And I was like, bro, how are they going to fit a wrestling ring in there? Like, I was so intrigued, like, when I saw the posting. And dude, it's only like $26. It's $26 to go there. And then they're going to have like, the best people from CCW versus, the best people that they have in NWA. So I'm considering going to that because it's pretty close to my house. It's like 15-20 minutes away. So very curious about that. I'm gonna look up a little more because I'm pretty sure it's not gonna sell out. But bro, NWA CCW.
Oh yeah, so that's crazy. Awesome. Sorry, I kind of froze for like 10 seconds.
I know, I was keeping it.
Sorry.
I saw you froze in place, so I kept it going. We're good.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. So you got a pretty busy beginning of the year.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it's on a Saturday, which is perfect.
Yeah, and then it's funny because so that's like your social life. Then like your home life, like I guess I don't want to make it sound like whatever, but like the wrestling life, the beginning of the year is also busy because you got the Royal Rumble, you got Revolution, WrestleMania. So it's like, so it's nuts to say, but the first quarter of the year is probably going to fly by for you.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom, Elimination Chamber. So there's a lot just between now and April.
Fucking insane. It's funny how, so obviously this is our year-end show. So later on in this episode, we're going to be going over our of the year awards. I just left the first part blank. So, match of the year, men's, women's, oh my God moment. We got a bunch of stuff lined up for you guys, but it's funny how, because you literally have to research because it's very easy to forget a lot of the shit that happened this year. And I was going back into some of these pay-per-views and I was like, oh shit, that's right. Oh yeah, this match. Oh shit, this match. And it was like, I kind of refreshed them in my head a little bit. So it was just like, it's amazing how much we got this year. I really feel like this year is one of the best overall years. Like, I don't know how to say, like wrestling content. I don't know if that's the right word. Like,
because I would even say some of the best wrestling in ring, but also storylines at the same time.
Just like total, like just content. I don't know if that's the right word. Like wrestling
everything
stuff. I don't know what the right word is. I'm not as verbose.
One thing I'm gonna actually do, because when I was doing this, I was like, man, I need to really, because I'm probably gonna leave some shit out that I don't mean to. You might pick up on it or whatever. You might say something, but I think what I'm gonna do is for every show I watch, I'm gonna pick my 2 favorite matches and put them in a note. So I know, so it's fresh in the mind that, I really liked this.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I said, there's definitely going to be shit I forget.
Yeah, that's for sure. We could definitely do that. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Write that shit down and just keep it in a side note there for the end of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
That'll work. But as we get along on this show, we always like to start out with the news, and we saw some interesting pieces of news that popped up this week. One of them being that Mike Rotunda has confirmed that Bray Wyatt, aka the late great Wyndham Rotunda, has been placed on a Legends contract, and that all proceeds to that all proceeds of all the merch and anything that's sold goes directly to his children, which you got to give it up to WWE for that one. That's fucking great, man. That is really fantastic that they're doing that. I saw that little rumor. We talked about it a few episodes ago where they were going to induct him into the Hall of Fame. I think they should 100% do that. They should do that this year. They should do him and Luke Harper, but I really think they should do them separately so they both get their, they kind of get. It's funny because WWE is going to be the ones to put him in the Hall of Fame, but it's like he didn't really. I mean, he was loved, and we're talking about Luke Harper.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of switched off, but Luke Harper didn't really come into his own until he left WWE and he became like the Brody Lee character that everybody kind of gravitated towards. So it's kind of weird that they put him in the Hall of Fame if they end up doing that, but I'd love to see it just because that was where I discovered him. So
I think he'll go in definitely. I definitely see the Wyatt family going into the Hall of Fame. I think Bray will separately, and like you said, we talked about it on the other show and looking at this note, this definitely seems like it's a step in that direction. You know what I mean? They're making sure his family's all set. Merch goes to him, Legends contract. I think they get some sort of money just in general.
Yeah.
Legends contracts. Because remember a few years back, Undertaker signed one for 15 years or some shit.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's awesome. I think Philly, like I said on the last show, or when we talked about it, I think this is the best WrestleMania to do it. Granted, like I said, they did this with Eddie Guerrero. He passed away November, went into the Hall of Fame that next Mania. But this Mania is in Philly. And this is the WrestleMania. That's the location, where he made his comeback, his return after being released. So, that place has, value, an emotional place there, too, Yeah,
anywhere they decide to do it, it's going to be, bro, I'm going to be in shambles.
Yeah.
So, I know if I'm going to be in shambles, it's just going to be not a dry eye in the house. So,
yeah, really. I imagine you're going to have – see, that's one of them, Strowman and – is Strowman and Redbeard going to be up there? Is Joe – I imagine JoJo won't – she'll obviously be in the crowd. But is Bo Dallas going to have something?
I don't even know if she would be in the crowd. I think she might just be backstage, bro, because she seems like she's – God bless that woman, man. She's going fucking through it. And going through it is not even that's not even the right thing to say. She's just, I feel for her.
It just makes me happy seeing that her and her kids are set. They're going to be taken care of. I think
at least they don't have to worry about that,
Yeah, Bray probably was making good money. They could have figured it out for sure for a while, probably on their own. But to know they have the support of WWE is even better.
Right.
So yeah, kudos to them for sure, man. That's friggin' sweet.
Yeah, man, it's pretty
awesome.
Cool.
And then transition to not sweet. Fan favorite of the podcast, I'd like to say. Kenny Omega tweeted out a photo of him with a thumbs up in a hospital bed, which we don't like to see anyone ever. But he tweeted, "I can't really sugarcoat this. I'm out indefinitely. I tried to keep pushing past the pain for as long as I could until it became too much. Luckily, doctors called me when they did. I'll be here. So in the meantime, please enjoy wrestling," which they said he's out indefinitely. I think they said he has a diver. I can't know. I don't know how to say it.
Diverticulitis.
Yeah, that shit. Which Brock Lesnar, is that what Brock Lesnar had?
That's what retired Brock Lesnar, bro.
Yeah, from the UFC. We hate seeing this because we love Kenny, right? And that's as simple as that. We love Kenny. So personally, professionally, he seems like he's just an awesome dude. It just sucks because he was on that great run when he had the carry of all the belts. He had all the gold. Then he was losing them because of injuries. Then he came back, and it seemed like him and Jericho were kind of getting into something here. I bet you they were probably going to win the tag titles, to be honest. So it would have been cool seeing Kenny go there, which probably would have led to another one-on-one match between the two of them. I bet you in the future, because to mine, which they've had a few matches. That's what Omega's the one that got Jericho out of WWE in a way, right? Because that was his first New Japan match. So
Oh yeah.
it sucks, and I think you and I were texting about it, or whoever I was talking about. You got to think at least, 8-9 months he's probably out. Like, I don't see this being like a 2-month thing.
Yeah, the good thing is that it seems like they caught it early. Because he's been sitting, apparently he's been sitting with this for a while and trying to like deal with the pain in his own way. And then I guess the pain was just too much for him this week, where he had to go see the doctor, and the doctor was like, yo, you need to be out. We need to work on this. So I'm assuming that they caught it like at a much earlier stage than what Brock Lesnar had. Apparently, bro, Brock Lesnar was like punching himself in the stomach, like, shut the fuck up, stomach, I'm fine. And just like continuing to deal with this until he like almost collapsed. He like almost collapsed or whatever. And then they were, by that time that they caught it with him, they had to cut out like part of his intestines and shit. And they were like, dude, you can't fucking fight no more. So luckily Kenny's not at that stage from what I understand. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but he's definitely ill. So it's gonna take him a while to recover from it. So
yeah, the on the bright side though, as much as a beast as Brock is, Kenny's an animal in his own right.
Yeah.
So seeing where Brock is, yeah, he's even done UFC fights since. So it's like,
yeah,
Kenny probably has a very good chance of coming back to where he is at his best, which that's ultimately what we want for him. Like, selfishly as fans, we want that, right? But like for him, that's what we want, is for him to be healthy. Just sucks, man. I don't know, something about AEW, and maybe it's because he's one of my favorites, but when he's not on TV, something's just different.
So it's funny. I was just telling you before we got on the show that I was, we were scrolling through our timelines, kind of looking for stuff for the show, and I stumbled upon Kenny Omega versus Okada from a few years back, and it was just a minute of video, and it's like, watching Kenny Omega, which we'll talk about Kenny Omega a little later, he'll be coming back up again, but watching Kenny Omega wrestle in New Japan and then watching him on AEW, it's like, I don't want to say this is like night and day, but like you really relish seeing Kenny be like the heel, badass kind of best bout machine, was what he calls himself, right? That's the Kenny that I want to see. I don't want to see Kenny involved in tag teams. Yeah. I don't want to see him involved in the trios. I don't want to see him making jokes and I don't want to see any of that, bro. When I watch some of these New Japan matches, like, that's what I want to see. I want to see V triggers. I want to see this guy like flying out the ring, hitting people with these high impact moves and going back and forth and crazy shit. That's what I want to see. So, wish nothing but the best for Kenny.
Yeah.
Really hope that he gets back soon. It's funny that this kind of throws that whole angle in disarray, because I guess Don Callis on Rampage, he confronted Jericho because Jericho was doing commentary, and Don Callis's family had a match. They destroyed some jobbers, and then they kind of rekindled that thing. So I guess Jericho's just going to go off in that direction, and I'm not sure what Ricky Starks and Big Bill are going to do, but
which sucks because I like them too a lot.
Yeah.
It's just the one
thing.
And
they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Yeah. There's plenty of tag teams to, figure that thing out.
With Kenny, though, like I said, maybe it's just me fanboying, but from seeing him live too a couple of times, besides like the obvious ones like Jericho, Edge, Sting, like the Hall of Famers, I guess you would say, Kenny, I feel, is like the original, but he still has that aura like a Jericho. And like seeing Kenny on your TV screen and in person, to me, is like special. Yeah. Like it's an attraction. It's like there's a difference seeing him live in person versus seeing like Hangman. Granted, St. Pat's, all that. Obviously, I think we could both agree Kenny's the better wrestler, but still, both been massive faces and heels in AEW. But Kenny coming out gives you that holy shit. I'm seeing Kenny Omega live versus, and this is obviously just disrespect to Hangman. I like Hangman. It's just, you know what I mean. Yeah, Kenny's just the man. Obviously, we wish him the best.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, again, I'm thinking like a couple 8-9 months. That's a fucking long time.
I hope for all
case. If that's the case, you know, we're pretty much out of Omega Osprey 3 at Wrestle Kingdom. As selfish as that sounds, you know, I just want this guy to get better. I want him to be able to come back and leave on his own terms, not have to, like, God forbid, retire or something like that because of a fucking illness. Because that sucks, dude. That really sucks. So, but it seems like the illness bug kind of made its way across wrestling, because we want to send a shout out also to CJ Perry, formerly known as Lana, for those of you who don't know. She's having surgery. She was actually in the hospital. She's been in the hospital for like 50 something hours because she has some type of bad infection in her hand and her finger, and it's like kind of going up her arm.
Yeah, sure, gross.
And it's like looks really bad. So, you know, I don't know the specifics or anything like that. I don't think that's any of my business, but definitely wanted to send her well wishes. She looks like she's having a great time there, eating pizza and crumble cookies. So, I put the picture up on the screen, but I didn't email it. So, but she looks like she's doing better. Hopefully she comes to recovery. There was another injury out there also from yet another person who is on my list this year for one of the matches of the year, and that's Charlotte Flair. And I wanted to bring her up because Charlotte Flair apparently tore her ACL, her MCL, and her meniscus in this match.
Same exact injury Seth Rollins had in 2015. So he got hurt November of 2015. Because I looked this up. That's the only reason I know this. Wow. So she got hurt, and he came back in May. So hers is a month later.
The reason I wanted to bring up Charlotte was because this bitch finished her match. She still tried to go for a figure 8 finisher with a fucking torn ACL, MCL, and torn meniscus, bro. That is a seriously tough bitch, bro. And with all due respect, I use that phrasing. I will never badmouth Charlotte Flair again. Do I have problems with the 14, 15, 16 time title? Yes. That's booking. It has nothing to do with her personally. That is booking. But, bro, Charlotte Flair, all the best to her. I hope she gets well soon, bro. I hope she comes back as stronger than ever. Because that women division definitely needs to have her in it.
Yeah, and
she is the fucking top of the scrap heap when it comes to the women's division there. So,
well, it sucks too. Well, first, in a way, congrats. Like I said offline, she just got a big contract extension, so she's going to be there for. Not that we thought
she got the bag, and she was like, "I'm going on vacation."
You got the bag, but it sucks because, as we'll probably mention the match, she delivers on that big stage of WrestleMania every single time. And just with everything this year, it's like there were 3 matches that were rumored that all would have been sick. Her versus Bianca, her versus Jade, and then fan favorite of mine and some other people. I don't know how true this one is, and we can dive into that, I guess, in a second. But potentially 4 horsewoman versus Damage Control.
Right.
So I would have been fine with seeing her in any of those matches, to be brutally honest. So it sucks she's not going to be there for WrestleMania. You know, like that's a huge name to lose. Company's obviously bummed because she's hurt, but for that reason as well, you have to imagine. Because like I thought they were maybe going Becky and Charlotte, maybe tag team Mania. So I don't know. This definitely puts a fold. You know, if Triple H had something in pen, he better cross it out, because
I know
this definitely puts a wrench in plans.
You know what would have been wild, which I don't know how they would have kind of worked this with this girl who hasn't even debuted on TV yet, but a 4-way for the women's title: Rhea, Charlotte, Bianca, and Jade. Like, I'd be down for that shit, bro.
That would have been dope, because Jade could lose that match too without getting pinned.
Yeah, she wouldn't have to get pinned, so you save her there, and then you got just 4 beasts going at it at WrestleMania, bro.
I know it's not a news thing, but do we see Jade at the Rumble? Like, is Jade going to wrestle at WrestleMania this year? Like, really?
I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah, she would have to. They're not gonna hold her all the way past WrestleMania. That'd be crazy. That would be nuts.
I hope they don't do a Raw after Mania thing for her. I want.
Hey, how did you feel about that fucking Triple H comment that he made at the scrum for the last pay-per-view? I think it was Survivor Series. They had asked him. Somebody asked him about Jade, and they were like, we saw her backstage. We saw her here. When are we gonna see her? Is it a training thing? Blah 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 blah. And he kind of like alluded to the fact that she's not properly trained. That's basically what he was like alluding to. Like the way he said it was kind of like when someone, is almost there but not really ready, and we want to make sure that like they're properly shown the system. Now, on one hand, I can understand because WWE system is different. The main roster wrestling style is different than where you're gonna see somewhere else. So I kind of get it, but like I don't know, bro. That shot to me was kind of like, bro, she trained with Cody. Like, what are you talking about? And Daniel Bryan.
I think I agree with you on the pro thing. I think that's just him taking that little jab at Tony. As simple because everyone forgets. Like, I bet you Triple H really doesn't see them. Like, I don't know. Actually, no, I can't say knowing him. Like, we're friends. But I'd like to think he's like an alpha in a way where he sees as conscious. But everyone, you got to remember, this is the guy who said at the DX Hall of Fame speech in 2019 before Double or Nothing, just when they announced that Vince will buy that pissant company. Like, so you can.
Yep.
So he's always going to feel a certain type of way. And now that he's the guy, I ain't mad at him for it, but I see it. I think that was just one of the few times he took the shot.
Yeah.
Kind of like how they, So
look, I can't.
I don't know what they're gonna do with her, man.
I know.
Like
I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure there's some type of plan, and I'm sure that at WrestleMania she's gonna be wrestling. Like, you can't. There's no way they're gonna hold her for another like 2 months. They gotta have her somewhere, bro.
Well, see, I feel we keep talking about this, but I like it. The Rumble's essentially a month away, right? Because you can wash away the holidays because they do the pre-tape shows. But like, I have no idea. Like, you keep hearing the rumors that Becky's gonna win and it's gonna be Becky and Rhea, but then it's like, are they gonna drag Io and Bayley out to Mania? Like we said, that would be cool, but I think when you have like Bianca. Well, see, when you had Charlotte, you would have thought, like, as cool as Bayley and Io would be for a women's title, like, you got Charlotte and Bianca right here. Like, that's obviously a way higher profile.
And you can't do the horsewoman shit without Charlotte, bro. You can't do it.
So think about it. So, like, say Mercedes does come back, because I guess we can kind of dive into that with this. Like, where is she in all this? Because you ain't bringing her back and not having, especially her, because she left overbooking. Like, that's the most obvious thing everyone knows. So she wants to, if she's coming back, like people think, at the Rumble, she's got to know what she's doing up to Mania. Like, got it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I guess, do you want to kind of hit into that and then give your piece at the same time? Like, where do you think all this is leading to every single person that was spoken of in my rant?
Absolutely. So Mercedes, who in this picture that I have here is her in a Santa outfit, which I wish I could show it to you guys. If you haven't seen it, go look for it, because it's well worth seeing with your own eyes. But she apparently, from what we've heard, these are just rumors, this is speculation, this isn't anything reported. It seems like she could not come to terms on a deal with Tony Khan and AEW to make any wrestling appearances. So she's still out there basically as a free agent, kind of looking around to seeing where she's going to go. I have a feeling that she's going to go back, because I think she's been gone long enough. If they're going to go ahead and continue to give her singles push and make her like a focus of the show, then I think, she'll be pretty happy with that. Because Trinity looks like she's very happy in Impact. There's big rumors that Impact's putting together some type of gigantic package for Mercedes. I can't imagine that she is going to be an Impact only talent. And that's not me trying to shit on Impact. It's just Trinity I can understand. Because Trinity, you know, she did have a singles push. She is a former WWE Women's Champion, I think twice. Actually,
2 times, and then with her.
Yeah, but she was never like. I don't think she was ever pushed as the star, like on that show. Whereas in Impact, she is like, bro, Trinity is the shit. She is. It's all about Trinity. Yeah. So she's getting her, you know, and it's nice to be able to, like we discussed a couple weeks ago. Would you rather be a mid-card guy who gets paid a lot in AEW, or would you rather be the champion in Impact and make a little less? Mm-hmm. It's like the chicken or the egg thing. And but I just can't see Mercedes. I hate to say that she's bigger than Impact because, again, I don't want it to sound like I'm shitting on that place, but I don't see her going there. I definitely see her going back to WWE.
And I'll say it like this in the most complimentary way ever. She knows she's too big for it too. Like, she knows she's a star. And that's why I say, like, she knows what she's worth, which to me makes sense. So she wants to do, and she's made it known, like, she wants to do movies. She wants to do other things, like, just like Jade.
Yeah.
Well, more people are going to see you in WWE than they are on Impact. Impact, I think someone said the other day, did like 70,000 viewers.
Bro, somebody online, and again, I hate to bring up these online people, but somebody was like, it's funny that the shit that these people say on one hand, and then they don't even realize what they say on the other hand. So there were people online saying that if she signs with Impact, they very well have a chance to overtake AEW in popularity and viewership. And to that, I say, you're a dummy. Whoever said that. Yeah, I missed it. Yeah. You gotta be a real fucking dummy to think that Impact is gonna overtake AEW, who has 5 hours of TV on national TV, and Impact is on YouTube. Like, come on, bro. But then at the same time, those same people who say, "Oh, she signs in AEW, she's fucking washed, she sucks. If she goes there, she's not really gonna contribute anything because she's already washed." Blah 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 blah. It's like,
and we all know Mercedes, Sasha Banks fans, however you want to call her, are like they're crazy.
Yeah,
like crazy, and those ones are 9 out of 10 times are diehard WWE fans. And the cool thing with TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call it, I guess it's TNA now, right? Next month it's officially TNA. Yeah. They're like the neutral ground. Like, no one hates them. Everyone's cool with TNA.
Yeah.
So of course, it's like, oh well, she'll be but it's like, what are we doing here? You know? But everyone's making it seem like, what's the pay-per-view? Is it Hard to Kill? That's next month. Yeah, Hard to Kill. That they got like a lot of shit planned. Like, people.
Yeah, they supposedly they have a
report as well that TNA is like under Endeavor. Have you heard that? That's like a thing.
Yeah, it's getting weird out there. I don't know what's going on with that. I heard something about
AJ that. Styles might be at Hard to Kill, like making an appearance.
That'd be so crazy. That would be some crazy shit.
That would be, to be honest. And that's why people think Mercedes might show up. But
wow,
back to Trinity in a way, like, not to be that guy, but like, she's gonna go back eventually too, like her husband's there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not full time because I don't know if they want to have kids and all the other stuff, but you know, she'll be there probably to do a tag thing with him eventually because WWE is very known for doing the couples tags or a Royal Rumble spot. Shit, you could see that this year.
Right.
So I guess, do you think we see like another Forbidden Door at this Rumble, or you think it's just WWE women in this match?
Oh man, that's actually fucking a really cool. I didn't even think of that. I could see Trinity making a Royal Rumble appearance. Why not?
Mickie James did as champion.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be crazy, dude. That'd actually be really cool. I could definitely see that. Yeah, especially if there's some type of partnership there. That'd be great for Impact. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
that'd be phenomenal for them.
Yeah, because especially like everyone loves Mickie James, right? But like when she came back to WWE the second time, like they didn't do bad with her. She just wasn't as popular as her first run. Where Trinity,
no, they did very bad with her. That's some revolutionist shit if I've ever seen it. They did really bad with her.
You think so?
She tried to come and get herself over with the Monday Night MILF shit. and they completely buried her into the ground. They made her fucking lose every week. She came out, she lost again, she lost. They beat her and beat her and beat her and beat her until they fucking released her, bro.
See, I didn't think they did terrible. She was fighting Asuka. She was getting title matches and shit. So
yeah, I feel like they didn't
better than how they did her on the end of her first run, calling her Piggy James and shit.
Piggy James, bro.
But Trinity is a lot more popular than her, so that can also help bring more eyes.
Hell yeah,
I don't know. But I guess I'm also biased. I've never been the biggest Mickie James fan, if I'm being brutally honest. I like her and what she's done for the business. Just never. I was a Trish Stratus guy, you know. But I think it's just
that, bro. Can't be mad at that.
People complain about it, and I'm going to lead this into the next thing. But I love just as a whole in wrestling right now where women's wrestling is. To be honest, like, yeah, okay, could AEW book better with it, right? AEW, could they? Yeah, okay. WWE could too, because sometimes they have 25 women on, the next week they have 3. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. And that's probably hard. Not to be that guy, but I bet you it's probably a lot harder to book the women in a way than the men. It seems like the men just comes more natural. But at the Ring of Honor tapings, Tony Khan unveiled the new women's title, the Women's Television Championship.
Oh, yeah.
And here where fans are fickle. Because for years and years, before AEW was the thing, and now that it's a thing, and ROH is obviously, with Athena, Billy, they're doing great with the women there, in my opinion. But how many years were people, all these WWE fans, we need a women's mid-card title. We need a women's mid-card title. This is literally a women's mid-card title, and everyone's shitting on it. Like, fuck it, man. And here's the other thing. Like, ROH is not as popular as AEW. We know that. So who cares if everyone's a champion? Like, I get it. It kind of kills it at some point when everyone's a champion. But, like, fuck it. Like, to me, this is a fuck it. Cool. I think this is cool.
What's funny is that a lot of people are talking shit about that there's too many titles in AEW, ROH, blah, 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 right? If you take WWE and SmackDown and NXT and you put them together, they have 14 titles.
Mm-hmm.
If you put with this new title that they've introduced into ROH plus the AEW titles, they have 13 titles. Okay. Yeah. So they have one less than WWE. Now, mind you, they're introducing that new title in the Continental Classic, which I don't know what the fuck is going on with that thing. I think, are they going to unify all 3 belts into one? Or is this person going to be walking around with 3 belts? I don't know what's going on with that. But there's definitely a new belt in the middle that they have covered. So I don't know if this winner is going to just have that belt and they're going to shutter the other 2 belts. I can't imagine that New Japan is going to be happy with that. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to want their belt back eventually. So I'm assuming this person's going to be walking around with 3 fucking belts. But again, same amount of belts in both companies, but the complaints, continue. It's like what we were talking about with Tony Khan and the Scrum. Tony Khan and the Scrum was talking about that whatever AEW does, they're targeted. And me and Nick kind of had a difference of opinion on that in the pre-show because I agree with Tony Khan. I'm like that. Anything that they do, they get shit on. Whether it's you don't book enough women, they book more women. They book women in the main event of this ROH thing, and they get fucking shit for that. They introduce a new title for the women because they have so many women on that show who are kicking ass that a secondary title is going to do nothing but positives for them, and they're bitching that there's too many titles now. It's like, you can't win.
Just say it again. I definitely think they get attacked more, but I think Tony adds a lot to himself.
Oh, for sure.
He adds.
He definitely instigates a lot of that bullshit.
Who did he roast the other day on Twitter, calling him like a parasite? That was low-key funny.
So Disco Inferno.
Disco Inferno, yeah, that was fucking funny.
That was a good one.
Because you know what the best is? Like, Tony, I don't know how the algorithm works when you refresh, but anytime Tony tweets and I refresh, he's usually like damn near at the top. And that was one of them moments I opened and I just saw Tony Khan. I saw the word parasite and I laughed. I was like, what?
Yeah, again, I think we're both in agreement that he should really get a social media manager.
Yes.
Like, you don't need to tweet because all he does is tweet, thank you for watching Collision. Thank you for watching Dynamite. This pay-per-view's coming. Buy tickets here.
This is awesome chant for.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's tweeting, hey guys, I just watched Godzilla -1. What'd you guys think? It's not like he's tweeting shit like that. He's tweeting straight business. So hand that off to somebody. Pay that person like 30 grand. a year and just let them tweet for you, bro, so you don't have to get into this bullshit and worry about it. It's like, that shit makes me crazy, bro, when he's sitting there as a fucking billionaire CEO of 2 or 3 different things
of everything,
and you're tweeting stuff like that at people. It's funny,
yeah,
but you really shouldn't be doing that.
I just feel it's not a good look to like his peers.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see millionaires and billionaires tweeting like that.
It's just weirdo behavior, bro. He's really got to slow down on that shit.
Tony was,
but I added this one thing here, which is kind of like old news, but I didn't realize there was a little wrinkle in here that I didn't realize until I read it. So obviously, in January, we're getting Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley versus David Finlay. Now, I just thought that was a 3-way match. That shit is in a fucking super slap. But what I didn't realize is that this is for a new championship that New Japan's created. If anybody has too many belts, it's New Japan, bro.
Everybody a champion there.
But this is the New Japan, the NJPW Global Heavyweight Championship. Okay. And whoever wins out of this is going to be the inaugural champion. So I would think it's going to be David Finlay, because why would you put this belt on Ospreay and then have him leave to AEW after that? And you're not going to put it on Moxley because obviously Moxley is an AEW talent. So I'm assuming this belt's for David Finlay. It should go to David Finlay to kind of cement him as a superstar over there.
Yeah,
I see this as like a passing the torch kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Ospreay's going to eat the fall on this one.
Yeah, this might be a passing the torch deal. Yeah. So, but again, another title, which is something I
like. This is something I could see being defended at Forbidden Door.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forbidden Door pay-per-view I will be talking about a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just kind of wrapping the news up with rumors and innuendo. I saw something that I just really had to add here. And Nick, I'd love to get your opinion on this. But there's some speculation out there that the devil in AEW just might be a familiar face to old ROH being the Elite fans. So recently, Marty Scurll, yes, that Marty Scurll, for those of you listening, he trademarked all his old wrestling names and all his old shit. So he's got all his trademarks back. And it was like all done at the same time. So it's almost like he's gearing for some type of comeback. It's not confirmed that he's re-signed with AEW or anything like that. It's just speculation. But I'm seeing it more and more. And I gotta say to Tony Khan, if this shit turns out to even have a little truth to it, if you end up bringing Marty Scurll into AEW, you, my friend, are a fucking dummy. You cannot bring this guy in under any circumstances. I don't give a fuck how long it's been. I don't give a fuck if the person who he allegedly had relations with turned out to be I don't even know how I want to finish that. But if you know what he was accused of, I don't need to bring it up. Sensitive topic, but he basically was canceled. And he should stay canceled as far as I'm concerned with everything that was reported about this man. So if Tony Khan, please, okay, please, for the love of God, don't do this, okay? I know it's a rumor, but just, you can't do this, bro.
Yeah, like in the wrestling business, everyone goes back or eventually, but like this is one of those things that you just don't come back from. And I don't believe it because, like I said offline with Brian Kendrick, like he had something, he was advertised for a match. It didn't even debut or
I was so fucking excited when I saw that graphic.
Yeah, and then they canceled it instantly canceled it. So
yeah,
Tony seems like he's a great guy in that he's prepared for all that shit. But I just don't think so. I don't buy this one personally.
Yeah, it's again, I tried to scour Twitter to find, information on it. And the picture that I put there, I cut the name out of the person who did it because it's an account I've never heard of before, some random ass account. So it could just be somebody's random thought, but it got a lot of retweets. So I thought I would just kind of bring it up. But finally in the news, we got some good news here. Kind of turning the page a little bit from all this kind of injury and weird news that we have here. We had some new tag team champions in the women's division crowned last night on Monday Night Raw. Kate and Katana.
Good match, too.
Yeah, and a very good match. It's nice to see them win those titles, which they never should have lost in the first place.
Yep,
so very good to see them get their titles back. Hopefully, and we keep saying this, and they keep kind of like not doing it, but hopefully this leads to more stuff in the women's tag team division because we're ramping up for our big shows for the year, and this title should definitely be defended, and they should be placed in high gear for these shows. So hopefully this is the beginning of that. So congratulations to those two ladies.
Definitely happy for them, two girls that deserve it. I'm hoping from this, I hope we have a big Chelsea Green year in 2024.
Yeah,
because she debuted in the Rumble, returned in the Rumble, and me included. When she came back and was eliminated in like 0.5 seconds, I was like, oh boy. And I think she's been a breakout star this year. And she did she got where she is all on her own. Like, she's had the backing of whoever creative, but like with those TikToks she was making about the Karen character and then tweeting at Adam Pearce all the time, and just the way she sold losing the titles last night, like, I thought that was dope. Like, I think she had one of the people who did have a good 2023. Personally, I think that. Yeah, really happy for these two ladies. I'm curious to see where they go. I hope, even if they ended up losing them at Mania, I hope they get a Mania match with the titles. Like, I hope they're involved in it because these seem like just two cool-ass chicks, like, in general.
Are the women's titles gone in NXT?
Yeah, so if you remember, they
got merged, right?
Yeah, with Ronda and Shayna when they beat Isla Dawn and Albert Fire.
Yeah, because again, I haven't been watching NXT like that, but the last time I remembered, they were gone. So
yeah, these can go across all three brands, but typically
cool.
Typically,
and that's cool, I think that's fine. I don't think we need tag team championships for NXT. I don't really think we do.
But typically, they end up staying on Raw for the most part.
Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, shout outs to the two of them, man. They look really cool. Hold on to their titles. They look very happy.
Lou, what were your thoughts on Final Battle?
Dude, for a show that we kind of were like, all right, we got a show this weekend. We got a show this Friday. The card didn't look all that promising. They only had a couple matches on there, but then as Friday kind of ramped up, they were starting to add things. And dude, I gotta tell you, I loved the show. There were a couple things on here I didn't really need, but honestly, this was one of the better shows of the year for me. I don't have it. I purposely didn't put it in my, end of year stuff, just because it's like, you don't want to, of course, the new shiny toy, you're always going to want to like, you know what I mean? So I think I'd say it was like top 15, in there somewhere. I think it was an excellent show. Again, there were a couple things on here I didn't really need, like Nyla Rose and Verta Vixen. It was a squash match on a pay-per-view. And it's not so much that I didn't need a Nyla Rose Verta Vixen match. It's just like, why did you just throw a random squash match onto this show? You could have given them time, or given them time to do.
The show went a while.
Yeah, and then even and look, I love Eddie Kingston. I'm not gonna find a bigger Eddie Kingston fan than me, and although the match was good, like, it was very weird that they added it on the pre-show. It's like, bro, Eddie Kingston is the ROH World Champion, and you're adding him to the pay-per-view during the pre-show of the pay-per-view. That's not good booking, like, at all.
Yeah.
Okay. That's number one. Number two, I hate this shit that he comes out and he's announced as a champion and he doesn't have the belt. Like, that shit sucks. He's finally champion. Yeah, because they're holding the belts up for this Continental Classic, which has been great. But
Yeah.
why can't you come out with your belt though?
Yeah.
Like, why is it held hostage?
Yeah.
So I don't like that.
Page, I think we owe an apology.
Big time.
I think we owe an apology because that was fucking great.
Yeah, listen, for me, that was the highlight of the show. That fucking match with the I Quit match with Tony Nese and Ethan Page. That was a star-making performance for Ethan Page. Like, that's one of those matches where you need to start paying attention to this guy now. And I hope that they give him the proper push, whether it's in Ring of Honor or whether it's on AEW or whatever. But I don't need to see Ethan Page coming out now on Collision and getting squashed, like, and coming out and giving like a good match and losing. No, let's push Ethan Page a little bit. Let's get him into the Intercontinental. Let's get him into the International TNT Championship picture, or if it's going to be Ring of Honor, TV Champion. Let's start that whole thing. Let's get that rolling. Like, let's get him, put the rocket behind him and see what we can do. Because, dude, he was fucking great.
Oh, he's got all the potential.
He looks like $1 million. Everything he did looked good. He has edge to him. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be like, fuck you. Like, and I was like, yo, this guy, what's going on?
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed the show. I love the Briscoe tribute. Obviously, I was going to be, that was
second F-bomb of the night.
Yeah, that match went in. I think we all knew that was going to be a good one anyway.
I like how they did that, though. Yeah. They had like a straight up match, and then they did the count out thing.
Yep.
And then Mark Briscoe was like, oh, hell no. He said, what did he say? What's his name? The referee.
I'm bad with that shit.
It was, I forgot his name. I forgot which one it was. But he was like, oh, you must have bumped your fucking head. There ain't no way we end this match like this. So, yeah, man, I love
good
the
moment for him. That was a special match and moment for him. So, you always got to be happy,
That match was pretty great.
I'll say this once again, another credit, Tony Khan. Like, he's taken very good care of Mark Briscoe since the passing because, he didn't you wouldn't think he would be in like the Continental Classic and just other things. Like, he's kept him relevant. He's not always on TV. Well, he was injured as well, but he wasn't always. And I don't think he's always going to be. But like, I think Tony's for a whole year now is taking care of him. Like, you know what I mean? Which is good.
One last thing I'll say about this show. If I had to pick a second highlight of this show, that fucking Vikingo and Black Taurus match.
He's not a human.
Fucking insane. That was a crazy fucking match, bro. And aside from the stupid spot where Vikingo tried to get on the rope like 3 times and Black Taurus just kind of stood there waiting for him to jump on him, that was kind of silly. But bro, that was a physical, hard-hitting ass, fantastic match. Like, really, really, really excellent match, man. Big highlight for me for the show. So just shout out to Tony Khan, shout out to the Ring of Honor crew, man. Yep. He really does. Bro, Tony's got one more pay-per-view this year. One more, okay? So if he knocks it out of the park with this pay-per-view, I can't tell you of another person who's had a better run of pay-per-views ever than Tony Khan in a year, bro, because this year's been nothing but absolute slapping ass fucking pay-per-views.
Yeah, great ones. Just great pay-per-views in general. Well, I guess going into the awards, speaking of shows, do you want to talk about pay-per-views first?
Hell yeah. Let's see. Let me switch my note and bam. So, okay, so let's see here. Okay, so because I kind of have it in the same order. So let me just.
We don't have to do that one. We can start wherever. I really don't care.
Because I have it like in the same kind of order you pasted it in.
So do I.
Okay, cool. So
you want to just start from the bottom?
We could start with shows though, because I don't think we should start with like male or female of the year. No. Let's go to the end.
Yeah, I think
we'll save that whole thing for the end. Listen, bro, I don't know what to do here. Pay-per-views for this year, again, this has been one of the, if not, I don't even want to say one of the, it's probably been the best year. I've been watching wrestling for 35 years plus, and This is the best year for pay-per-views I think I've ever seen. Like, and that's no bullshit. That's no hyperbole. And look, for everyone wondering, there's way too much wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't have any GCW matches on here. I don't have any MLW matches on here. No CML matches on here. Unfortunately, I cannot watch everything. Okay. So this is primarily going to be AEW, WWE. I got a little Impact sprinkled in here in some places, but okay, the big three shows. This is my opinion. This is not my gospel or Nick's gospel or anything like that. This is just what we found to be our favorites for the year. So, dude, pay-per-view wise, I'm just going to name the ones that I wrote down here. AEW Revolution. Okay. That pay-per-view had Hangman Page versus John Moxley in a Texas death match, the 60-minute Iron Man match with MJF and Danielson, and the Elite versus the House of Black for the fucking trios titles. Okay. That. Forbidden Door 2. Okay. Kenny Omega Ospreay, Danielson Okada, and a match that I wanted to put in my choices for matches of the year, but I left it off, and I don't know how I feel about that. But the international title with Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. versus Shibata versus Daniel Garcia. That match was fucking bananas. I have Wrestle Dream in my picks for pay-per-view of the year. Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland 1, and Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. Just some of the matches that were on that show. Royal Rumble 2023. Roman versus Kevin Owens.
With the turn.
Rhea winning. Cody winning the Rumble. The 2 Rumbles. So that was one of my favorite shows of the year. I actually put Payback on here.
Oh.
I was going to go with Backlash, but when I looked at both cards, I kind of wanted to put Payback because I wanted to give some love to Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch for that fucking steel cage match that they had on that show.
That was a great
match. That was one of the best fucking matches of the year. And it was funny how that match came about because they kept getting canceled and canceled and canceled and moved off of Raw and moved off of SmackDown. And then they were like, all right, we'll put you on Payback. And they stole the fucking show.
Yep.
So that, and also on that pay-per-view was the Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn street fight with the Judgment Day. That was like one of the better matches of the year that I saw. So, and my last one for the choices, because I have 6, WrestleMania Night 1. Do I even need to talk about WrestleMania Night 1, bro? Rhea versus Charlotte, KO and Sammy versus the Usos, Rey and Dominic, Rollins versus Logan Paul. Like
the men showcase tag match was even good.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. That was one of the best WrestleManias ever. So,
yeah.
Those were my choices for pay-per-view of the year. I honestly don't even know if I can pick, but I think I should let you do yours.
So, I have Mania Night 1. You spun it out right there. I did have Wrestle Dream. I had Backlash. I did end up putting Backlash on mine.
I can't be mad at that.
Yeah. But my overall show of the year, I'm very, very biased here, but I went with Full Gear.
Okay.
Being there, just
yeah,
I thought it was just a great show in general. So I was very biased there. I'll be honest, very, very biased.
I was close to putting them on there. But...
Yeah, I was, just from even dumb little things like having our sign be on the show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I had to. There was no way I wasn't going to make it back.
And it's funny that neither one of us have All In or All Out on here. It's pretty. I was close to kind of putting them on there because All Out, I actually enjoyed All Out more than I did All In. But still, these other shows just for me were just better.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to pick one of these for my favorite of the year, I'm such a fucking mark, bro.
I feel any of them you could say. Maybe not Payback, to be honest, as it was a great show.
Yeah,
but
definitely not Payback. It's not Payback. But I'm actually torn between Forbidden Door and WrestleMania Night 1. And I think I'm going to give it to WrestleMania Night 1 because we were all expecting night 2 to be the banger because, you know, Roman and
Cody,
you know, the whole thing. And night 1 ended up being so good that it made night 2 look like shit. not look like shit, but because night 2 was good, but night 1 was way
I really
better.
think if Cody would have won, people would say that's the best WrestleMania of all time, like between the two nights. It's nuts how much Roman, like, I didn't, looking back at it and where they, now it's like this year, if somehow Roman wins, it's like, okay, like, nah, fuck you. But
I saw a report today that said if Roman retains at WrestleMania this year, then he's six months or so away from beating Hogan's record. And I was like, oh my God, bro. Great. Great, bro.
The reason I say that is because he is becoming less and less on TV. Like, he won the title.
This, bro.
No, you can't.
You can't do this, bro.
If he was on TV even at least a couple times a month, then yeah. But when my man's gone 3, like, you can't. Like, you just
can't do this, bro.
No, but
you can't do it, bro. There's no way.
Like, you can't. Like, you can't. And I'll be honest, if Punk and Rollins deliver, if that's a thing, if Bianca and Jade or whatever Jade does delivers, if Cody and Roman delivers and Cody, like, yo, this year really could go down as one of the best.
So let me ask you something before we continue on that, since you brought up Rollins and Punk. I saw the promo between Drew and Seth last night. Did you see that?
Yes.
That was a fucking fantastic promo. And now I'm like, how do you not have Drew win after that? Like, this guy's talking about he lost his parents and he lost his mom and his grandfather and shit coming on the road. And they told him, nah, don't come, stay there, follow your dream and all that shit. And now you're going to fucking, like, how do you not put the belt on Drew after that,
like,
bro?
that was a bad time to do that, to be honest.
Like, if you don't put it on him now, that's it, bro.
And the reason I say they're not is because Punk and Rollins is happening at me. Whether he has this. So who's Drew fight? Damian? Like, does Damian cash in and that starts a little feud? Because that's the other thing. If Punk and Rollins is a main event, whether it's a title or
absolutely
not. Like, they already made that known with Punk said, I'm here to finish my story of main eventing. Seth Rollins has been on record multiple times saying I've never main evented. Like, so that night, I feel, and I could be wrong, but night 1 and night 2's main events are penciled in. It's just, so I'm cool with Drew winning in a way, honestly, but who's he fighting?
Yeah, they'd have to.
Because I don't want Drew having a title if it's a worthless match at Mania, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because there's no other. Oh, Jay. They could have. Oh, they've been building that Jay Uso and
there's no way
thing.
There's no way they don't do Jay and Jimmy at Mania. I feel that's the most.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will because they haven't done anything with them together.
Yeah, I think that's going to start at the Rumble. I think I think Jimmy's going to eliminate Jay, and that's gonna.
I actually have another question since you brought.
Because I also think we're going to get Solo and Randy at Mania. Because Randy's going to lose that match. Solo
Sikoa, the most boring wrestler of all time.
With Randy Orton, yeah. And then, but yeah, that's just me. But I'm fine with Drew. I like Drew. So I wouldn't care if he won.
But they do like a Drew and Jay thing. I'm cool with that. I actually really like that.
I do too. I just don't see it happening.
Can you imagine Jay showing up on SmackDown with that fucking belt?
I know.
Putting that shit in Roman's face. Like,
yeah.
Look at this shit. This shit looks way better than yours.
I just don't see them not doing Jay and Jimmy.
So I actually have a stupid, dumb side question related to that since you brought Jimmy up. So, Nick, I must ask you. Yeet or no yeet?
Yeet, 100%.
Yeet, 100%. I got to tell you, bro, I'm leaning towards that no yeet. I think
Jimmy's hysterical.
Yo, one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. And it's so stupid that I find this funny. But that whole thing when he was back there doing the interview, he goes, yeah, yeet, and Roman calls him. And he just knuckles up. He puts the phone down. I'm like, yeah. Bro, the acting that he had to do to pull that shit off. Because you know Roman ain't fucking calling him. He's just fucking acting with himself. Then he closes the phone and he's just, no yeet. Bro, that's one of the greatest fucking things I've ever seen, dude. The
I think
greatest.
it's so
Jimmy
fun
is
that
hilarious,
I
bro.
think they're both doing good as single stars.
And this is one of those things where I think we need to celebrate it because it's you see stuff like that a lot in wrestling where there's like a team and they break them up and one is better than the other and then the other one fades into obscurity and the other one continues on because they're the better, Shawn Michaels out of the group or whatever. And like that's one of those things we're worried about with the Street Profits, right? Like if they break up, what's gonna happen to fucking, you all know.
Montez Ford is the Shawn Michaels.
You know what I mean? Montez is the shit, but you kind of worry about Dawkins. Even though Dawkins holds his own and all that, and I'm not trying to talk
he's
about
a
him.
bulldog. We've said that on here multiple times.
This is one of those things where these two separated, and they're completely separated. Like they're not interacting. They're not
completely different characters at that.
They're in completely different spaces. And Jay's doing his own thing. He's trying to be his own man and come up, and the crowd loves him. He's super over. He's great in the ring and all that. And then he's a super baby face. And then you got Jimmy, who's like a heel in every sense of the word, but he's hilarious, bro. Like he's all the little things that he does. Did you see that video of him when he was laid out in the ring and they were rolling up the ring?
Oh yeah, he was just there. He
was just unconscious laying there, and they just sort of like pushing him out of the ring. Like, dude, it's just so great to see that both of them are like on the same level. They're just both doing it big.
I already think because eventually they're going to get back together. That pop when one saves them, the other one is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But I guess
so you're yeet. I'm no yeet. All right, that's good to know.
So I guess we'll go now. We'll start at the bottom with breakout star. Nice. I have a bunch, but
I have one.
So my number one, which I believe your number one, is Dominic Mysterio.
I was gonna go with Dominic, but I went in a different direction.
I only said that because we said this offline to each other. That's the only reason I said that.
And it was funny because when I was literally, that's one of the first ones I was gonna, Dominic Mysterio. I was gonna type it in there, and I was like, you know what? I have someone else in mind.
Who?
So the person that I have in mind is Trick Williams.
Okay.
I think Trick Williams is my breakout star. He is organically over. Like just organically over. Might have a lot to do with Booker T. Because I think that's a package deal that they should fucking bring him straight up to Raw with Trick. But dude, the pop that he got when he won that Iron Survivor challenge was fantastic, bro. They were, as soon as they counted 3, the crowd was already fucking doing the whoop that Trick chant. Like, it's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible, bro.
So mine's Dominic. I think we can all agree, though, for obvious reasons why. But other people I wanted to give a shout out to. When I say breakout, some of these were already stars. They just had like a great year, I guess you would say. I went with Tiffany Stratton. I went with Swerve.
Oh, yeah. Nick is having a little bit of technical difficulties. So Tiffany Stratton and Swerve. I like it. Me? Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? All right. Athena.
Ooh, good one.
Toni Storm. Because I felt Toni Storm was kind of high in WWE and then low in WWE. And now she's kind of high, obviously, in AEW.
She was so good in NXT, man. In NXT UK. She was so fucking good.
Yep. And then I had actually no, and that was it. I went with a lot of women because I felt a lot of women did have.
Yeah, they're killing it this year.
Really, really good breakout year. And then Swerve, like Swerve's obviously been a star. You know what I mean? But just Swerve when I drive. Just that.
Yeah, he's definitely coming into his own this year.
Yeah, he's coming into his own. I want you to go first on this one for entrance. What do we got for entrances here?
Ooh, so where is mine? Did I even put anything here? I thought I did. Or did I delete it? Oh, okay. I got 2. So the obvious one, which I think is pretty much the winner for me, is the Bad Bunny entrance at fucking Backlash. There's no denying that entrance, that crowd when his music hit, the way they had the camera right behind him and it came out and you could just see everything and the lights and the flashing and it just, dude, that
drone.
entrance, yeah, there's no denying that entrance whatsoever. And that's pretty much my winner. But I definitely did want to put a shout out in for one other entrance. And that was I forgot what episode of Dynamite it was, but the episode of Dynamite where MJF and Adam Cole's like, hey, I got a surprise for you. We'll just go out there. I'll meet you out there at the ramp. And MJF comes out, he hits his music, and then he's like, all right, cut my music. And he calls Adam Cole and they play his music again.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, this is my music. What's going on? And then that's where they debuted the mashed up version of their shit. Bro, his reaction to that fucking theme song hitting was like the greatest. It was like the greatest shit ever. And then he picks up Adam Cole and he spins him around like a little fucking girl. Adam Cole's like, yo, hey, yo, slow down, bro. Like that whole thing. And then they like get serious and they walk to the ring and do like the poses and all that shit. That was fantastic, bro. That was a fantastic entrance.
So I got two other ones I want to give some love to. Nice. Bryan Danielson at Forbidden Door with the final countdown. I had to give that some love.
Yes. I actually just watched it the other day.
And then maybe because he's one of my favorites, but Roman Reigns at WrestleMania with the pianos, kind of like that final boss.
Oh, yeah.
Vibe to it. And Roman still to this day has just overall my favorite entrance, like of active people.
Well, you know who I should have gave one to? I should have gave one to fucking LA Knight interrupting Roman's entrance.
No selling it, just walking.
That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, Roman coming out with the pianos, like as simple as it was like dope.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who was it that came out with the kids were singing?
Christian, he just came out.
Oh yeah, that was hard. That shit was hard.
And then like out of like a happy one, you got to give John Cena some love with the Make-A-Wish kids. Like that was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. I'm trying to think some other ones that come to mind.
I almost forgot about that Christian.
You know what's nuts? I don't remember Cody's Mania entrance. I'm assuming he had 1,000 things of pyro.
Yeah.
I just remember he went up to Brandy and like his daughter in it, but like I really don't remember. I don't
remember him doing anything special. I think he was kind of locked in.
Oh, another one you got to give some love to is Sami Zayn coming out in Saudi.
Oh yeah,
and his Elimination Chamber one, like both home areas, kind of. Like
where he played. They did the Worlds Apart where he came back to the old song. Yeah, that was fucking awesome too.
Sami had some dope entrances. Who else? I really like Jade's at Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah,
Pretty Girls. I did like Swerves at Full Gear. Once again, maybe I'm biased because I even gave Girls a high five. But yeah, there was a lot of good entrances this year.
Hell yeah.
Really
and I like that. I like that AEW actually the last couple pay-per-views actually did something with the entrances. Like it's not just a regular ass entrance. It's like
I even like
do some performance with it.
I even liked just that Full Gear Edge, Sting, and Darby with the face paint and the back.
With the jackets.
Transitioning into Edge's music. That was dope. But yeah. Next we have. Well, on the list, it's match. But do you want to go match this early, or do you want to save that?
I mean, we got oh my god moments,
and
matches,
then tag male, female,
and then what else we got up here? Yeah, we can do match.
Okay,
right.
So, for me,
go ahead.
So mine has stayed true all year. On January 4th, I believe it was. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay put on, as the kids would say, cinema. That match was just amazing from start to finish. And I know both of us were watching it at like a stupid odd time in the morning. So it's not like it was like a Saturday or Sunday night thing. I think it was like a Thursday.
That was fucking ridiculous, bro. I couldn't believe it. I called in sick to watch that fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah. So they just, literally the fourth day out of the 365 days we had this year, it was done. Like that's what was nuts. Like
So
we
great.
said it. I think we did a podcast like literally like that next day. I think just the way the schedule.
Yeah,
went.
we were like, it's over. That's it. That's
Like,
match of the year, and that's it.
And then
That's in January.
because the first time I watched it with the Japanese commentary, which I thought made it even better.
Shit, you know what? I've yet to do that.
And I'll be honest, I had no clue what they were saying.
Yeah,
but it was just perfect. So I want to give some love there. Charlotte and Rhea at Mania. I know you'll touch on that, so I'm not going to dive into that too much. The Texas Death Match with Paige and Swerve. Once again, I might be a little biased being live in attendance, but that was just wild because when you kept thinking it was going to end, it didn't end at all. What other ones did I have on here?
So far, I have the same matches.
Yep, those are all on there. What else did I have on? Sorry, my phone locked. I had the Usos with KO and Sammy. I don't know if it's just because I liked that moment.
That's another one I got on there.
I don't know if and then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop there. I want to hear what else you have.
No, you can do all yours if you want to. I have
those are really the big ones. The other ones, like I had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest on there just because that was just cool. Like
I have 7 matches on here, so
let's hear them.
Just to kind of piggyback off of yours, the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. That fucking come on, bro. The finish of that match when he hit him with the 3 haluva kicks, bro, and Jay's leaning into that. Come on, bro. That was phenomenal. Swerve versus Hangman Texas Death Match. I don't care what anybody says. It's too bloody. It was too this. It was too violent. I don't give a fuck.
2 birds.
That match was incredible.
Yes.
Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. If there's one thing I love, is to watch 2 women go into that wrestling ring and beat the shit out of each other. And that's exactly what those 2 women did. And that match happened the beginning of the year, and I'm still saying that's one of the matches of the year for me.
A lot of these matches did, to be honest.
Yeah. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, piggybacking off of what you said. What else can you say about that match, dude? It's just, you can't, there's nothing like those matches. They're super replayable. It's just incredible. And
it's you know what, to add to it, we always have these expectations of how a match is going to be. A perfect example, I think we said on this show before. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in Mania a few years back. We thought it was going to slap. It did not slap.
Super disappointing.
You knew this was going to slap, and it did.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like the same with the Usos and KO and Sammy. Like, you just knew it's even better when you know a match is going to be good and it delivers. And I think that's another big thing with Kenny and Will.
Hell yeah. So I have 3 matches on here that I wanted to bring up. Kenny Omega versus MJF a few weeks ago on Dynamite, when Kenny was trying to stop the streak from happening, where he's beating his streak or whatever. That match is super underrated. I don't really see a lot of people giving that match the love it deserves. That was a fucking fantastic match. Obviously for me, it was one of the best matches of the year. So this one is kind of niche, because I know a lot of people have not seen it because it's behind a paywall. But Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey on fucking Impact. If you have a chance to watch that match, please go to YouTube go to the Impact page, pay the fucking $1.99 that it costs to watch that match, okay? And then you get Impact for a whole month, and you can watch Hard to Kill, you can watch all the episodes of their show, you can watch their backlog, and you can watch that match. You can also watch Will Ospreay versus Josh Alexander, which was also better, which I wanted to put on here, but I feel like the Mike Bailey match was just a little bit better. And finally, I'm very surprised you didn't put this match on here, but Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus.
Yeah,
WrestleMania Night 2.
I had a feeling you were gonna say it, and I didn't want to say all your shit.
Dude, talking about people beating the shit out of each other for a good 15, 16 minutes, man.
Big meaty men slapping me.
Man, bro, it's so beyond that, though. That match was fucking great. Such a great match, dude. I really have trouble picking one out of here.
I did it.
But if you ask me which one of these matches I'd like to watch right now to kind of like watch it, Yeah, man, I think I have to go with Omega Ospreay, man.
In Japanese.
And I kind of hate the fact that I'm picking that because I really want to make sure that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley get that love.
That was easily the best women's match of the year.
Oh, for 1,000%.
Yeah.
That's not even debatable. But the fucking, because the thing is, like, the thing with the Usos and KO and Sammy, it's like the match was awesome because of, for me, the ending and how it crescendoed and how they paid off the ending and they win the belts and yay, we did it. We fucking won the belts. But the match itself, not saying that it was bad or anything like that, because it was not bad, but it's more about like the end of it, the payoff, if you will, of the match. So, because just that, bro, Kenny and fucking Will Ospreay they just do things that like I can't explain. You can't explain that shit. It's just like they do things you've never seen. And it's just the beat, it's so close to like you're blurring the lines of like, and again, I hate to say this, I don't want to sound stupid, but like what's real and like what's not real.
No, I know you mean
that Hidden Blade. I watched a Van Fleet interview. It was not the interview, it was a clip of him talking about that Hidden Blade, how he does that shit. And they were like showing it in slow motion. And it's like when you see it in slow motion, you see how safe it is, the way he does it. But bro, when you see that shit in real time, it fucking looks brutal, bro.
Yeah.
Brutal. So I gotta give it to them.
Definitely just this year in general is one of the best years in a while, match-wise. Storyline as well, but match-wise for sure one of the best.
And we're not getting one of those next year, bro. I'm so sad. Super sad about that.
So for OMG,
but hey, you know what? Good news for everyone else. You have a chance to win match of the year next year.
You got a chance. For OMG moment, what do you got? I'll let you take this one first.
Oh, dude. So I kind of went a little stupid with this. All right. So I have a couple here and I'm just gonna read all of them. So oh my god, moment of the year for me, CM Punk being fired by Tony Khan. That was one of the oh my god moments for me.
That's one.
Another oh my god moment for me, CM Punk returning to WWE.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
Hangman drinking Swerve's blood was, I literally in the theater I yelled out, oh my god.
We're matching right now. Same ones.
Yeah. For this, I just wrote, quote, I don't give a damn what the tribal chiefs say, end quote.
Oh,
that's all I wrote in there. Okay. That was one of them. I have two more, and this one is Dante Martin's leg injury, which happened in March.
Oh, yeah.
That shit happened in March. It's easy to forget. That happened this year, bro, and he's already back. That's insane.
Back to normal. Not just back either, like back to normal.
Back and almost better than ever.
Yeah.
And the last one that I put here as far as oh my god moments, all I wrote is Vikingo existing. Like, because, dude, everything he does is like a fucking oh my god moment. I can't even understand how that dude's an alien.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's not real.
But I love watching him. So mine, I have Texas Deathmatch just as a whole. Like everything. Yeah. Like you said, everything. There's from that, the cinder block, the choking of the chain, just everything. Everything.
Crazy.
CM Punk getting fired. My overall one is CM Punk coming back to WWE.
Yeah.
More or less just because of how the way shit lined up. Like they announced Survivor Series in Chicago. He's under AEW contract. This bullshit didn't even happen yet. The bullshit happened. He returned.
And just the way they did it. Like they put the credits.
Yeah.
They're panning the camera out. We're like, all right, this shit's over. And then they hit his music.
Yeah. Another one I have on here that you didn't, because all of yours we haven't seen. But I put Roman Reigns getting pinned by Jey Uso.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it was it was a tag match and all that, but I was not expecting that personally.
That's the only pinfall that he's taken in what?
No,
3 years?
4 years to the day today. Was when Baron Corbin pinned him last.
Fucking only pinfall in 4 years, bro.
Yeah, so like to me, that was nuts. So
that's
I
fucking insane.
But overall, Punk coming back was you know. And I'll say this: I love that he's back, but it sucks at the way the AEW shit ended. Like it did, man. Especially like I love how it ended in a way. Him, Samoa Joe. That was a great match too, by the way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that was cool in front of 81,000, like the biggest live crowd ever. So you know what I mean? Like it was cool. He was there for all that. Like I said, it's dope because it seems like they're going to do good with him so far in WWE. But granted, it's honeymoon stage, right? But it still sucks the way it went down because we were very big fans saying we loved what he was doing in AEW.
That's one of those things I loved about Drew's promo last night, where he was like, I'm proud of you, Seth. Everybody's all kissing CM Punk's ass and it's all rainbows and lollipops. And then you were the only one who called him on his bullshit. I was like, oh, this is very interesting, this promo.
See,
very interesting.
What I like about it is everything. But I'd like to see Drew be the one. Say Seth doesn't lose the title. I'd like to see Drew be the one to beat Punk for the title. Because you already know, this is what I think is going to happen to sum it up quick 2024. I think you're going to have Seth and Punk at Mania, and he wins. Punk wins. Then I think you're going to have, because I think they're going to want, like, even though Drew's already a star, I think they're going to want whoever beats Punk to be another kind of star moment. I think Roman loses. I think you get Roman and Punk for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam. And then I think Drew's going to be the one to beat Punk.
Ooh.
I really think just the way I see these small seeds going or something. I don't know. I don't see a world where Punk and Drew don't interact.
Yeah.
Because Drew, as much as he's always involved in something, whether it was the IC title, like he's always involved in the big picture. So yeah. I don't see him just not.
I like him a lot, man. I really hope that he gets his chance to have a title run with the crowd.
Because
unfortunately he's a bad guy now, somewhat for the most part, but
I think everyone likes him better like this. Because I'll admit, like when he won the Rumble, if you remember when he won the Rumble, he wasn't a solidified baby face then.
Yeah.
Like that's what made him the baby officially.
Oh, yeah, he was after he played more the fuck out of Brock Lesnar, boy.
Even Brock was behind him. Like when Drew did it one time on the stage, Brock was telling him like, pick up the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like that would have been a massive pop in a real stadium with a real match. And
oh yeah.
Then I don't know.
One of the weirdest matches fucking ever, by the way. That fucking Brock Lesnar Drew McIntyre match with no crowd, silence, just so fucking weird.
Do you remember? I saw it the other day. I forgot. Remember that? If you remember, WrestleMania ended, and then that next night on Raw, they showed that after WrestleMania, Big Show came out and challenged Drew McIntyre for a title match at WrestleMania. They didn't show it at WrestleMania. Do you not remember that?
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so it just popped up this week on my feed. That's the only reason I remember. So, and the reason they did is because Vince wanted to already solidify that Drew's like the man by beating the Big Show in his broken days. As much as Big Show's a legend and all that, Hall of Famer for sure. But yeah, I'll never. And it wasn't. That's I don't even think that's how Mania. Yeah, I think that's how they started Raw off. They either started Raw the next night with that, or after. That's how the main event of Raw was. Like, we have this exclusive from last night after WrestleMania went off the air, even though the cameras were recording it.
Right.
And Drew and Big Show. And I forgot all. Yeah, look that up. Look that up. Honestly, like it won't take much time. It was another quick 4 or 5 minute match, but like technically, Big Show main event at WrestleMania in 2020.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
wow.
So I want to see something with Drew, man. Drew, I think he's just the perfect example of dude who got really disgruntled. You know, he started drinking, he got laid off, and made a massive name for himself, put on massive muscle and all that shit, and then came back and like he literally said when he was fired, like, I want to come back and be the guy to fight Brock. Like, I want to be that level, and he did it.
Yeah, it's funny. When he was first in WWE with, like, no beard and whatever, he just seemed like a smaller, regular mid-card dude. And then, I don't know, he grew? Like, what the fuck? Did he eat spinach or some shit? Or he grew,
he came back, like...
It's not only that he came back jacked, but, like, the motherfucker grew. Like, I don't remember him being that tall. Yeah, like, I don't remember, pause. I don't remember him being that tall, yo. I threw that in there late. I debated on whether or not to throw it in there, but I had to.
But next, so we gave Drew some praise. He deserves it. Tag, dude, I'm not gonna lie, tag was hard.
So tag team of the year was a little. I had to think about it because, you know, I felt like
I didn't do trios, by the way. I only did strictly tag teams.
Oh yeah, just tag team. I just did tag team. I kind of wanted to, like, I felt like I had to put the Usos in, but then I didn't because they've been broken up to me for a while already. So, I couldn't add them. At least I felt like I didn't feel right adding them. So, honestly, bro, my choice for tag team of the year, I only put 2. I put FTR, which is very surprising to me that I put FTR.
Yes.
And the Creed brothers. I had to go with the Creed brothers.
I put Sammy and KO in there too, just because they had those run with the titles. They main evented a couple pay-per-views.
But that was the thing too with them. I was trying to think about it, and I was like, they didn't really do too much when they had they got the belts, and then there was a period there of like a month and a half where they just kind of like,
the reason
we're the champions, and like that's all they did.
Yeah, like I went with them and I added them because like they had the Mania moment, they main evented the Saudi show, and then that match with the Judgment Day, the street fight.
Yeah.
So it's like as a tag team, they had some good. This one was because. So would you say this was hard because there wasn't just that one good tag team, or this year wasn't a great year of tag team wrestling?
I don't think it was a great year for tag team wrestling outside of WWE. Because it was ping ponging. Not that it ping pong. That's the wrong word. It definitely ping ponged in AEW, but WWE they had it. It was the Usos and then it was KO and Sammy. So they played a great angle out as far as that goes, but there wasn't a lot of standout wrestling matches to me, at least, or that period there where the Street Profits and the Usos wrestled like fucking 22 times. I think that was last year though, so they kind of curtailed that stuff.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was a crazy year, bro. Their motherfuckers wrestled like fucking 15 times. But I went with FTR, man, because you know what?
They're consistent.
They are consistently fucking great. Mm-hmm. And I might not be the biggest FTR guy, but dude, when they have a match,
it goes.
You are going to be fucking thoroughly entertained. They are going to give you everything. And especially if they're allowed, like on a pay-per-view, to just go bug wild, they're going to go bug wild.
Even in the ladder match at Full Gear, like that's not their lane. They looked great there. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're old school. They like to just wrestle, and even when you put them in shit like that, like they look good. I think though, and I'm not saying it just because they're the champs. I think if you stick with this Big Bill Ricky, they could easily be a tag team of the year contender next year. I'm a big
you just gotta give them more matches. Like let them wrestle. Yeah.
Then we got the females. So for my females, my overall one, people were very critical of her booking, but not just because of what she did in the ring, like just what I went with Rhea, man. I felt like Rhea was the obvious answer. She had the big match with Charlotte. She won. Just mommy's this, mommy's that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought she was just in her own this year. But a lot of other ones, like, you got to give Io some credit winning the title match and all that. Then Bianca had another great year. Becky, I put in there because of what she did with the NXT stuff. But then you can't shit on Athena by any fucking means. She had a phenomenal year too. So did Toni Storm. I think, like I said, you put her in a breakout, but like I think she had another great year. So this one was hard because this year was a great year. I think as much as we criticize WWE and AEW at times, I think this has been one of the best women's years ever. Oh, and another reason for Rhea, she went the distance at the Rumble.
Oh yeah, she hell yeah.
But everyone, women's wrestling this year, I thought was just great.
Yeah, for me, the female wrestler of the year is Athena. Like, it's Athena.
She had a great year.
Athena goes out there every single week, and she's having matches, and she's headlining 2 pay-per-views in a row. Okay, she's still the champion. She's the longest reigning Ring of Honor Women's Champion ever. But definitely, I'm picking Athena. But I definitely had some other women in here too. I had Statlander in here also. I think she had a great year since she came back. Becky Lynch had a great run with the NXT Women's title. She had that fantastic cage match with fucking Trish Stratus. You know, she's constantly involved in the main event scene. So Becky Lynch for me is always great. I also had Tiffany Stratton in here.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton had a great run with the title. I would like to see her get that title back because I think she should be champion for a little bit longer of a time. But other people like Tony Storm and like,
you know who else?
Sky Blue.
You could also, this is more a breakout star than female of the year, but Julia Hart's in her own right now.
Oh, yeah.
Between character and moves and everything from where she was. Like, you got to give her some flowers.
Yeah. I wanted to show some love to Willow Nightingale, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But just for me, I wanted to make sure that Athena gets that just spotlight because, dude, Athena's amazing, bro.
Now, male. I'm going to let you start with male.
Male.
I think you're my overall one. I think you might be a little shocked.
So I have 4 people on here.
Okay. I already know one.
And so I went with Bryan Danielson.
Yep. He's always
Orange Cassidy, Gunther, and Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Those are my 4 top. I wanted to throw MJF in there. I wanted to throw Jay White in there because another actual tag match, which is again why I went with FTR, was that fucking FTR Bullet Club Gold match that they had on Collision. This is one of the fucking best matches.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Here. But those 4, obviously Orange Cassidy, you don't have to, dude, it speaks for himself. The dude, I think the stat they showed on Dynamite this past week, the motherfucker's 25-1.
Isn't that
this year? 25-1. So,
like, you could argue he's the best booked professional wrestler.
Yeah, dude.
Besides Gunther, I guess, because
somehow, some way, this fucker manages to continue to win and squeak out these victories, man. It's just he's and it's so vindicating for him. It's got to be so vindicating for him because for so many years people just called him a joke and this and that, and he's whatever to professional wrestling and blah blah blah. He's fucking awesome. What can you say about Gunther, bro? He had another match of the year candidate last night with the Miz of all people, the fucking Miz.
Shout out to the people that said Gunther was dead when he got his name changed.
Yeah, how do you have a 5-star match with the Miz? Somehow he managed to do it last night. Will Ospreay, I mean,
worked it. That's
really
the name.
Really, they really need to fucking opine on Will Ospreay, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it to Danielson for this year.
Yeah,
Danielson is and continues to be the best wrestler like
walking
in the world. Literally, he's just fucking amazing. He's the best. He can be physical, he can be technical, he can be heel, he can do it all. He can literally do anything and make it believable. He could fight fucking Brody King and make it like a comparable match. I'll never forget that match he had with Lesnar.
Yeah,
probably one of the best Brock Lesnar matches
ever.
Dude, ever. I'm gonna go with Danielson this year, dude, and he's still doing it.
Yep,
still.
So Danielson's on my list. Gunther's on my list. Seth Rollins is on my list. Will Ospreay's on my list. Who else am I missing? Gunther, Ospreay, Seth, Danielson. Who else? Yeah. Cody. Gave Cody some love. I gave MJF some love. For all the reasons we've already spoken about them previously. But my wrestler of the year is someone that I'll say, I've always liked this person. But at the beginning of the year was like, if I didn't see his segment, it was whatever. Now it's like, I have to drop what I'm doing to see that segment. And it go bigger and bigger throughout the year. My male wrestler of the year was Swerve.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've always liked him, but he is my favorite wrestler in the world right now.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Right now. I don't know if people will agree or not, because that is, with all these great names like Gunther, Ospreay, and Danielson, just those 3 right there. But Swerve he took into his own and he is going to be I bet you he'll be on my list again next year in 2024.
Yeah, I'm seeing gold in Swerve's future, and not just the gold that's in his mouth. He's gonna be wearing gold. Well, it could be, Let's see what happens. If I don't know, there's one of the things about the Continental Classic. Like, I have no clue who's gonna win. Obviously, all signs point to Danielson, but you've seen this before with Danielson, where like you think he's winning, and he takes the pinfall to put someone over.
That dude is not selfish.
Yeah,
I think he just wants to wrestle.
You never know. So all signs to me point to Danielson or Swerve. Now, if Swerve wins, that would be, it makes sense to me because right now you got the world title like so held up and going in so many different directions, like Samoa Joe, the Devil, Jay White. You got all these different things kind of playing out. You can't really add Swerve into that mix right now. So the fact that he can win this Triple Crown and have 3 belts.
Yeah.
You imagine Swerve, Nana walking out with a belt on and then Swerve holding the other 2 belts, bro? Come on, bro. That shit makes perfect sense to me.
But all I got to say is, I guess my closing remarks, 2023 was a great year for professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of a year that was this good consistently for 12 months. And it's hard. I would say since AEW debuted, you got to say in 2020, because they debuted the very end of 2019. This between the 2020, 21, and 22, and 23, so 4 calendar years of them both being the 2 main companies, this is the best one they've had.
Yeah.
Even though 2020, even though it was COVID and shit, that was the dope year for wrestling too, in my opinion.
As far as total wrestling goes, I would agree with that. I will say, though, that AEW definitely has had its challenges this year. They're definitely having challenges right now in different aspects. But if we're just going like pay-per-views and like actual like content and stuff like that, bro, both companies are fucking killing it.
But even then, like NXT, all those shows were great this year.
Yeah.
All the TNA shows were good this year. All the ROH shows were good. Like, I'm trying to sit here and think of a show that I really was like, damn, I really wasted like 3 hours or whatever of my time.
Hasn't happened.
Yeah, like with everyone. Now, granted, some were better than others, obviously, right? Like you could talk like Fastlane, right? It wasn't a terrible show, but
or even like what was Night of Champions. I was kind of like, like, you know what I mean? But it wasn't terrible. You know what I mean?
There was nothing I was like, damn, that sucked. Like, we've had some shows that sucked. Like, even the Saudi shows, like you said, those Night of Champions, Crown Jewel, like, those were good. Where in the past, we had, like, Goldberg beat The Fiend at those. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the right 2 people are in charge with Tony and Triple H.
Yes, sir.
And to be honest, dude, I have very high expectations for wrestling in 2024. Very, very high.
Because even when you look at when you look at Crown Jewel on paper, it was pretty much again, I'm gonna use the word worst, but it was probably the worst pay-per-view this year as far as the WWE shows go. And that's, I say that just because the other shows were better, not that this show was terrible or whatever. Because when you look at it on paper, like
Seth and Drew was really the only
Drew,
that was great.
Rhea Ripley in a 5-way, Solo Sikoa, John Cena, Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, and Roman Reigns, LA Knight. Like on paper, that's a card. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But it just kind of fell a little flat.
Yeah, everything was just good when everything else this year was like great.
Yeah. So again, it could just be a case that we got such good wrestling this year that show just, wasn't up to par. But even with that being said, it wasn't bad.
But even if you think about the things we said, I think both of us enjoyed the first half of the year of wrestling more. Not saying, but like our matches of the year were in the first 6 months.
Yeah, look at all our matches of the year. Everything was
like you know what I mean? Like
3 months.
Well, because if you think about it, between the end of June to January, I said it backwards, but you had the Wrestle Kingdom match, you had WrestleMania, You had Revolution on there. You had Forbidden Door in there. You know what I mean? Like, I think Double or Nothing, it was an okay pay-per-view, but still had some great matches.
And I remember I loved the first Forbidden Door, and I thought the second Forbidden Door was better than the first Forbidden Door. I remember distinctly saying that. And I had it in the running for best pay-per-view, but it just WrestleMania was.
Yeah. So the second half of the year wasn't bad, I don't think. But like Money in the Bank was a good show. Like, I think actually, you know what? I think my biggest disappointment of a show this year, and it was good, just not great, was actually SummerSlam.
Yeah.
SummerSlam was that, and I think it's because of how they did the Jay and Roman bullshit. It was supposed to be like not no disqual, like you couldn't interfere or anything bullshit like that. And like Jimmy that was the storyline that Jimmy cost Jay the match.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I remember like LA Knight had his crowning moment winning that Battle Royal. It was like Ricochet and Logan Paul didn't deliver like I thought it was gonna. Finn and Seth had a good match. But like, that's all I remember. Like the Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey shit wasn't that good.
Yeah, no, that match was not.
No, like it
was not good.
The cool Shayna got over on Ronda, you know what I mean? But like, I guess the only cool thing that really came out of SummerSlam, looking back on it, was Io. She cashed in and won.
Yeah.
But overall, I ain't got much to complain about this year in wrestling.
Not even a little bit. I have really no, aside from, I don't know.
And sorry to cut you off. We still got a whole nother pay-per-view next week.
Bro, that's next week. Wrestle World's End is next week. Oh, it is, dude. It's the 19th.
Yeah, next Saturday.
These people gotta stop fucking around. I keep looking every day to see if they have the tickets for sale on freaking Cinemark, and I haven't seen it on there yet.
I wonder if it's gonna be hard for them. If it's not on there, I wonder if it's because that's like a holiday weekend, like a big holiday weekend. That might
Wrestle Dream. They got all the old ones here, but they don't have it on there yet. They usually kind of cut it kind of close.
Yeah, you still go over a whole week. I'd say if you didn't see it by like Sunday, then maybe. But it wouldn't shock me if they didn't for this one just because of the holiday and everything.
Yeah. I might. I mean, as much as I enjoy going to fuck that. I gotta go to the theater for that. Dude, especially it's on a Saturday. Like
the next day is New Year's Eve. You know what I mean?
It's great. It's just awesome. And I actually have New Year's Day off because I requested it. So even if it was Sunday, I'd be fine. But bro, I gotta see that in the theater.
Even that, we still have another show because what matches are advertised? MJF
for that right now,
show, and what the Continental Classic Final?
Yeah, I think those are the only two. You take a quick look.
Yeah, let me see.
Because I know for sure it's definitely the winner of the Continental, and then you got your main event.
It's from November 23rd. Here we go.
You're showing me the movie The World's End.
So all you got, Tony Storm versus Rio versus Saraya.
Oh, okay. Wait, what?
That's
Rio or Saraya?
Oh, or sorry, yeah.
Jesus Christ! I was gonna say, please no.
Who do you think's gonna take that? Who do you think it's gonna be?
I'm pretty sure Tony Storm's gonna retain.
No, but do you think it's gonna be Rio or?
Oh, it's gonna be Rio. Yeah. It's gonna be Rio.
And then so the women's match.
If you want ratings for this pay-per-view, it better be Riho. Bro, Riho is a ratings machine, bro.
Isn't it nuts every time she comes out on Dynamite?
Every time, dude. The ratings go up when Riho's on TV.
Isn't that like low-key hysterical?
That shit's insane. Riho is a powerhouse of ratings, bro. I'm telling you, if Tony Khan wants to fucking get some ratings, bro, put all the belts on her. Let her beat fucking Orange Cassidy for the international title. Give her the heavyweight title, TBS title, women's title, all of them, bro. Yep. Should be the new belt collector.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, this might most likely probably our last show of the year. So once again, on behalf of me and Lou, thank you for a great year of subscribing, likes, follows, comments. Well, not really comments, but let's get those up. That's your resolution for next year.
Yeah, we're giving you guys a resolution for next year. Comment on the video.
Still, the views, everything was great. The love, we love it. The interactions on social media. Thank you for that. and continue next year to get your friends to watch and follow us on Twitter at wrestlingistrash and YouTube at Wrestling is Trash. Like I said, we love our YouTube channel, so let's give that some love. Wrestling is Trash. Like, comment, subscribe, share the whole 9 yards. Take us home, Lou.
Yes, sir. Lou from the BX, host of the Everything Podcast, goes to Wrestling is Trash. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling is Trash. Click the link in the bio to get hip to all of our content on there. You can get yourself a nice Wrestling is Trash t-shirt. Makes a great Christmas present. It might get there a little late, but it'll get there. And just thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for this year. Thank you guys for watching our videos, for clicking like, for sharing with your friends. If you shared the video, definitely continue to do that. That helps us out a lot. Spread the word of the trash. We like to think that we do things a little different. You know, we try to put a positive spin on things. We try to make sure to call out the good and the bad. So it says right there on the bottom, wrestling good or bad. That's our motto. So we thank you guys for enjoying our show and continuing to come back. And we wish you guys all the best in the coming year. And hopefully we have another fantastic year of wrestling. Like Nick said, we got one more pay-per-view to go to close the year out. And we're looking forward to it. So, yeah, man, from us to you, thank you so much. We love you very much. And as always, enjoy wrestling.